What's going on, everyone? It's Graham Stephan, and today we're diving deep into a topic that's incredibly important for building long-term wealth-frugal living. Now, before you click away thinking this is just another video about eating ramen noodles and living in your mom's basement, let me stop you right there. We're talking about smart, strategic spending habits that can help you save more, invest more, and ultimately achieve financial freedom faster. Over the next 20 tips, I'm going to break down actionable strategies you can implement in your life to start seeing real results. Let's get started. If you are enjoying this content, and you do not want to miss future videos filled with even more tips, tricks, and inspiration, hit that subscribe button now to stay tuned with us, and remember to comment and share. The first step to frugal living, and it's one that so many people skip, is creating a budget. And no, I don't mean just mentally keeping track of your spending. You need a system, whether it's a spreadsheet, a budgeting app, or even just a notebook, where you meticulously track every dollar coming in. Write down your salary, any side hustle income, investment dividends, literally everything. You need to know exactly how much money you have to work with each month. This step is crucial because you can't manage what you don't track. And if you're serious about accumulating wealth, you need to know where your money is coming from. Now that you've got your income laid out, it's time to tackle the often scarier part: expenses. This means tracking every single expense, from your rent or mortgage payment down to that daily $5 latte. And I mean everything. Use your credit card statements, bank statements, and receipts to categorize your spending: housing, transportation, food, entertainment, the works. This might seem tedious at first, but trust me, it's eye-opening to see where your money is actually going. You might be surprised by how those small, seemingly insignificant expenses add up over time. Let's be real, eating out is convenient and can be really enjoyable. But let me tell you, it's a massive drain on your finances. Think about it. A $15 restaurant meal could easily cost you $5 or less to make at home. That's a $10 difference, and if you're eating out multiple times a week, those costs add up incredibly fast. And we're not even talking about those fancy $30 avocado toasts or $12 green juices. Those are luxury items, not everyday necessities. Cooking at home gives you complete control over your ingredients, portion sizes, and ultimately, your budget. Plus, it can be a fun and rewarding experience to learn new recipes and improve your culinary skills. Now, I know what you're thinking. Graham, I'm busy, I don't have time to cook every single meal, and you know what? That's totally fair. But here's the thing. Cooking at home doesn't have to be a chore. In fact, with a little planning and organization, it can be incredibly efficient and even enjoyable. Start by meal prepping on the weekends. Spend a few hours on Sunday cooking up a big batch of something healthy and delicious that you can portion out for lunches or dinners throughout the week. Another tip is to keep your pantry stocked with staples like rice, beans, lentils, and pasta. These are all inexpensive and versatile ingredients that can be used in countless different recipes. Alright, let's talk about cars. We love them, right? That new car smell, the freedom of the open road. But guys, owning a car is expensive. Seriously, you've got your car payment, insurance, gas, maintenance, parking. It all adds up. Think about it. The average car payment in the US is almost $600 a month. That's over $7,000 a year just to drive around. Then you've got insurance, which can easily be another $100 a month or more, depending on your coverage. And don't forget about gas prices. They're all over the place, but even at a good price, you're looking at hundreds of dollars a month just to fill up your tank. Plus, there's always the risk of unexpected repairs, and those can get seriously pricey, like thousands of dollars pricey. So yeah, car ownership can really eat into your savings goals. Public transportation, guys, it's often overlooked, but it can be a total game changer for your finances. Think about it. For the price of a couple of tanks of gas, you can often get a whole month of unlimited rides on the bus or train. That's huge. And it's not just about the money. Using public transit can actually save you time in the long run. Think about all the time you spend stuck in traffic, searching for parking, or dealing with car troubles. With public transit, you can just relax, read a book, or even get some work done while you commute. Plus, it's way better for the environment. Cars are a major source of pollution, so by choosing public transit, you're doing your part to reduce your carbon footprint. And let's be real, walking to the bus stop or train station can count as your daily exercise, right? Per unit price when you buy in bulk. Now, there's a right way and a wrong way to buy in bulk. You don't want to end up with a pantry full of expired food or products you never use. That's just wasting money. First, make a list of the items you actually use regularly, and that have a decent shelf life. Then, start comparing prices at different stores. Don't be afraid to check out wholesale clubs like Costco or Sam's Club. They can be a goldmine for bulk deals. Just remember to factor in the membership fee. Another pro tip, pay attention to unit prices. Sometimes a larger package might seem like a better deal, but when you actually break it down by the ounce, pound, or individual item, it's not actually cheaper. Don't get tricked by clever marketing. And finally, be realistic about your consumption habits. If you live alone, buying a 50-pound bag of rice might not be the best idea. Start small and gradually increase your bulk buying as you get a better feel for what you actually use. Let's talk about impulse buying, guys. It's the silent killer of financial goals. You know what I'm talking about, that little voice in your head that says, you need this right now, even though you absolutely don't. It's those end cap displays at the grocery store, the flash sales on your favorite websites, the limited time offers that make you feel like you're missing out if you don't buy now. It's all designed to trigger an emotional response and get you to spend money without thinking. And the worst part is, impulse buys rarely bring lasting satisfaction. You get that initial dopamine rush from buying something new, but then the guilt sets in. So, how do we avoid falling into the impulse buying trap? It's all about being mindful and intentional with our spending. First and foremost, make a budget and stick to it. Knowing exactly how much money you have coming in and going out each month can help you make more rational decisions about your spending. Next time you're tempted to make an impulse purchase, ask yourself, do I really need this, or do I just want it? If it's the latter, put the item down and walk away. Chances are you'll forget about it in a few hours, or you'll realize it wasn't that important after all. Another helpful tip is to implement a waiting period. Tell yourself you have to wait 24 hours, or even a week, before making any non-essential purchases. This gives you time to cool off, think it over, and decide if it's something you truly want and can afford. And finally, unsubscribe from those tempting email lists, and unfollow those influencers who are constantly pushing products. You know, people always ask me, Graham, what's your secret to building wealth? And I tell them it's not always about making more, it's about keeping more of what you earn. And one of the easiest ways to do that is by using coupons and discounts. Seriously, it blows my mind how many people leave money on the table by not taking advantage of these savings. We're talking about free money here, people. Whether it's a percentage off your grocery bill or a 2-for-1 deal on your favorite coffee, these savings add up over time. Think about it, even saving a few bucks here and there can make a difference. That's a few extra dollars you can invest, put towards your savings goals, or even use to treat yourself without breaking the bank. Remember, every dollar saved is a dollar earned, and those dollars compound over time. Now I know what you're thinking, Graham, finding coupons is a pain. But trust me, it's easier than you think. Back in the day, you had to clip coupons from newspapers, but now, everything's online. There are tons of websites and apps dedicated to finding the best deals and discounts. You can find coupons for groceries, clothing, electronics, travel, you name it. Just do a quick search for coupon codes or discount codes before you buy anything online. And don't forget about cashback apps and browser extensions. These are game changers, guys. You literally just shop online like you normally would, and these apps give you a percentage of your purchase back in cash. It's like getting paid to shop, so there's really no excuse not to use coupons and discounts. It's one of the easiest and most effective ways to save money and build wealth over time. Alright, let's talk about another fantastic way to save a ton of money DIY projects. Now I'm not saying you need to become the next Bob the Builder, but learning some basic DIY skills can save you a small fortune in the long run. Think about all the things you pay other people to do around the house: fixing leaky faucets, painting walls, assembling furniture. These are all things you can learn to do yourself with a little bit of patience and some YouTube tutorials. Seriously, YouTube is a goldmine for DIY information. You can find step-by-step instructions for almost any home improvement project imaginable. And the best part is, it's completely free. You don't need to pay for expensive classes or hire a professional. But the benefits of DIY go beyond just saving money. It's also incredibly rewarding to learn new skills and tackle projects on your own. Plus, you'll have the satisfaction of knowing that you did it yourself and saved a ton of money in the process. And let's be real, sometimes calling a professional can be a hassle. You have to schedule appointments, wait around for them to show up, and then pay their often exorbitant fees. With DIY, you're in control. You can work at your own pace and on your own schedule. Of course, I'm not saying you should tackle major renovations or electrical work yourself, unless you're qualified, of course. Always prioritize safety and know your limits. But for smaller projects around the house, DIY is a fantastic way to save money, learn new skills, and gain a sense of accomplishment. Alright, let's talk about one of the biggest budget busters out there: eating out. Now, I get it, we all love a good meal at our favorite restaurant, but the truth is, dining out can absolutely destroy your budget if you're not careful. Think about it. Every time you eat out, you're not just paying for the food, you're paying for the overhead costs of the restaurant rent, utilities, staff, and of course, their profit margin. All those costs get passed on to you, the consumer, in the form of higher prices. And it's not just the cost of the meal itself, it's all the little things that add up: appetizers, drinks, desserts, tips. It's easy to walk out of a restaurant having spent way more than you intended, especially if you're with a group of friends who are all ordering rounds of drinks and appetizers. Now, I'm not saying you have to completely swear off restaurants, but being more mindful of how often you eat out can make a huge difference in your budget. Instead of eating out 3 or 4 times a week, try cutting back to once a week or even just a couple of times a month. And when you do eat out, be strategic about it. Look for restaurants with good deals like happy hour specials or early bird menus, and consider skipping the appetizers and drinks, which can really inflate your bill. But the best way to save money on food is to cook at home more often. And no, I'm not talking about slaving away in the kitchen for hours on end. There are tons of quick and easy recipes out there that are just as delicious as anything you'd get at a restaurant. Plus, cooking at home gives you complete control over the ingredients and portion sizes, which can be a huge benefit if you're watching your waistline as well as your wallet. me where I needed to go. Let me give you some real-world examples. When I first started building my wardrobe for YouTube, I wasn't about to drop thousands of dollars on designer clothes. Instead, I hit up consignment stores and found some awesome pieces for a fraction of the price. You can find everything from everyday basics to designer labels, all at a steal, and don't even get me started on furniture, couches, tables, chairs. I've furnished entire apartments with secondhand finds. Not only did it save me thousands of dollars, but it also gave my place a unique and eclectic look that you just can't get from buying everything new. Remember that sleek office desk I showed you guys in my last video? Yeah, that was a secondhand steal. Even bigger purchases like cars. Now I'm all for treating yourself to a new car when you can afford it, but when I was starting out, buying a used car was the only way to go. It allowed me to avoid that massive depreciation hit and put more money towards my investments. Plus, cars are built to last a lot longer these days, so you can still find a reliable used car that will serve you well for years to come. Now let's talk about something that can quietly drain your bank account without you even realizing it. Unused subscriptions. We've all been there. You sign up for a streaming service to watch one specific show, or you subscribe to a meal kit delivery for a month and then completely forget about it. These recurring charges might seem small on their own, but they can really add up over time. Think about it, a $10 monthly subscription you don't use adds up to $120 wasted every year. That's $120 you could be putting towards your investment portfolio, paying down debt, or saving for a down payment on a rental property. It's time to take control and cut the cord on those budget vampires. Go through your bank statements and credit card bills with a fine-tooth comb and identify every single subscription you're paying for. You might be surprised by what you find. I know I was when I did this exercise. Once you have a list of all your subscriptions, it's time to get ruthless. Now, I know what you're thinking, Graham, but I love my streaming services. And hey, I get it. But there are still ways to be smart about it. Take advantage of free trials. Many streaming platforms offer free trials, which is a great way to binge watch that show you've been wanting to see without committing to a long-term subscription. Think about bundling. Sometimes bundling services like your internet, phone, and streaming together can save you money compared to paying for them individually. Just make sure the bundle actually makes sense for your needs and you're not paying for services you won't use. And here's a pro tip. Don't be afraid to negotiate. Call your service providers and see if they can offer you a better rate or any discounts. The worst they can say is no, right? You might be surprised by how often they're willing to work with you to keep you as a customer. Now let's talk about lighting. Those old incandescent bulbs might seem cheap, but they're actually energy vampires, sucking the life out of your wallet. Switch to energy-efficient LED bulbs. They might cost a bit more upfront, but they last significantly longer and use way less energy, saving you money in the long run. And here's a sneaky one: phantom energy. Even when your electronics are turned off, they could still be drawing power if they're plugged in. This is called standby power or phantom load. Unplug chargers, appliances, and electronics when you're not using them. You can also use power strips to easily turn off multiple devices with the flick of a switch. Another often overlooked area is your water heater. Consider lowering the temperature on your water heater by a few degrees. You probably won't even notice the difference, but your energy bill will thank you. Overbuy. Another huge advantage of meal planning is the time it saves. Think about it. If you already know what you're having for dinner, you don't have to waste precious time each night figuring out what to cook, searching for recipes, or making multiple trips to the grocery store. You can literally just come home from work and start cooking. This is especially crucial for those of you with busy schedules. Instead of resorting to expensive takeout or delivery because you're short on time, you'll have a delicious home-cooked meal ready to go. Plus, when you plan your meals in advance, you can often take advantage of bulk deals on ingredients, saving you even more money. And here's a bonus tip. Consider prepping some of your meals on the weekends. Chop vegetables, marinate meats, or even cook entire meals ahead of time so you can grab and go during the week. This can be a game changer when it comes to sticking to your budget and eating healthy. Count on everything you buy. Now, let's talk strategy. To really maximize your cashback earnings, it's crucial to be strategic about which apps you use and how you use them. Don't just download every single cashback app out there and hope for the best. Instead, do your research and identify the apps that consistently offer the best cashback rates for the products and stores you frequent the most. Some apps might be better for groceries, while others might be more rewarding for online shopping or travel bookings. Another pro tip: stack your cashback earnings. That's right, you can often combine cashback app offers with credit card rewards and coupon codes for even greater savings. For example, let's say you're buying a new TV. You could use a cashback app, pay with a credit card that offers bonus points on electronics purchases, and top it off with a manufacturer's coupon code. Alright, let's shift gears and talk about something that's both frugal and fulfilling: growing your own food. Now, I know what you're thinking. Graham, I live in a tiny apartment, I don't have a green thumb, and I can barely keep a houseplant alive. But hear me out. You don't need a sprawling backyard or expert gardening skills to reap the benefits of homegrown produce. Even if you only have a small balcony or a sunny windowsill, you can still grow fresh herbs, vegetables, and even some fruits right at home. Think about it, those little plastic containers of herbs at the grocery store? They can cost upwards of $3 or $4 each, and they often go bad before you can use the whole thing. By growing your own herbs, you'll always have fresh, flavorful ingredients on hand, and you'll save a surprising amount of money in the long run. Now, if you're new to gardening, the key is to start small and manageable. Don't go overboard trying to cultivate an entire vegetable patch overnight. Instead, focus on a few easy-to-grow items that you actually enjoy eating. Herbs like basil, mint, cilantro, and parsley are great options for beginners because they're relatively low maintenance and thrive in containers. Tomatoes, lettuce, peppers, and strawberries are also relatively easy to grow, even if you have limited space. You can find a wealth of information online and in gardening books about how to get started. And don't be afraid to experiment. Not everything you plant will thrive, and that's okay. Gardening is a learning process, and each season presents an opportunity to refine your skills and try new things. Remember, even if you only manage to grow a few herbs or a handful of tomatoes, you're still saving money, eating healthier, and reducing your environmental impact. All right, let's talk about debt. You know, that thing that just seems to suck the money right out of your bank account every month. The truth is, most people are drowning in debt, credit cards, student loans, car payments, and it's keeping them from building real wealth. Think of it like this. Every dollar you're paying in interest is a dollar that isn't working for you. It's not invested, and it sure isn't going towards your next vacation. The problem is, debt can be sneaky. It starts with a small purchase here, a low monthly payment there, and before you know it, you're trapped in a cycle of endless payments. And the worst part? High interest rates can make it feel like you're running on a treadmill, constantly paying but never really getting ahead. Remember, the name of the game is to keep as much of your money as possible, and that means avoiding unnecessary debt like it's the plague. So how do you escape the debt trap and start building wealth? First things first, create a budget and stick to it. I know budgeting isn't the most exciting thing in the world, but it's crucial for understanding where your money is going and identifying areas where you can cut back. Think of it like this, you wouldn't drive a car without knowing how much gas you have, right? Your finances deserve the same level of attention. Next, prioritize paying down high-interest debt as quickly as possible. This is like plugging the biggest hole in your sinking ship. Consider using the debt snowball method. Start by paying down your smallest debt first, then roll that payment amount into the next smallest debt, and so on. It creates momentum and keeps you motivated as you start seeing real progress. Let's be real, guys. Gift giving can get expensive, but it doesn't have to be a drain on your wallet. One of my favorite frugal living tips is to tap into your creative side and make your own gifts. Not only is this way more personal and thoughtful, but it can save you a ton of money in the long run. Think about it, a hand-knitted scarf, a personalized photo album, or even a batch of your famous homemade cookies. These are the gifts that people truly cherish. They show that you put in the time and effort to create something special, and that's priceless. Now I know what you might be thinking. Graham, I'm not exactly a crafting expert, but trust me, there are tons of easy and affordable DIY gift ideas out there, even if you're not particularly crafty. A simple Google search for DIY gifts will give you endless inspiration. And hey, if all else fails, there's always the classic coupon book filled with personalized favors and experiences. The point is, making your own gifts isn't about being perfect. It's about putting in the effort and showing your loved ones that you care. We live in a society that's obsessed with the newest and latest gadgets, and it's easy to fall into the trap of constantly upgrading and replacing things that are perfectly functional. But this throwaway culture is not only wasteful, it's also incredibly expensive. Before you toss out that perfectly good toaster or shell out hundreds of dollars for a new phone just because the screen is cracked, consider this. Repairing your belongings can save you a significant amount of money in the long run. Think of it like this. Every time you repair something instead of replacing it, you're essentially giving yourself a raise. Okay, I get it, we're not all DIY experts. But the good news is, there are tons of resources available to help you repair your belongings, even if you're not particularly handy. YouTube is a goldmine of repair tutorials for everything from fixing a leaky faucet to replacing a phone screen. And if you're not comfortable tackling a repair yourself, there are plenty of affordable repair shops that can do it for you. The key is to shift your mindset from replace to repair. Challenge yourself to extend the lifespan of your belongings and avoid unnecessary expenses. Trust me, your wallet and the planet will thank you for it. You know, when I was grinding it out as a real estate agent working 12-hour days, 7 days a week, the last thing on my mind was dropping hundreds of dollars a month on entertainment. I mean, who has the time or the money, right? But everyone needs a break, a chance to unwind and escape. even if it's just for a little while. That's where the library became my secret weapon. Seriously guys, the library is a goldmine of free entertainment. Think about it, books, audiobooks, movies, music, they've got it all. And the best part, it's completely free. You don't need a subscription, you don't need to sign up for anything, just walk in, grab what you want, and enjoy. Here's the thing about libraries, they're not just about books anymore. They've evolved, guys. They're like community hubs, offering a ton of valuable resources that go way beyond just borrowing materials. Many libraries now offer free computer classes, language learning programs, and even financial literacy workshops. These are incredible resources, especially if you're trying to improve your skills, learn something new, or get a leg up in your career. And did I mention they're completely free? And if you're a parent, you know how expensive it can be to keep your kids entertained. Well, libraries are a lifesaver. They often have free story times, playgroups, and other activities for kids of all ages. It's a great way for them to socialize, learn, and have fun, all without breaking the bank. And sometimes you gotta fight for it. Now I know what you're thinking, Graham, I'm not a negotiator, I hate haggling. Listen, I get it, it can feel uncomfortable at first, but trust me, it gets easier with practice. Start by doing your research. Compare prices from different providers, see what kind of deals are out there. Knowledge is power, my friends, and it gives you leverage during the negotiation. Once you know your worth, don't be afraid to ask for what you want. Be clear and concise. Explain that you're a loyal customer, if you are, and that you're looking for a better rate. And here's a pro tip, be willing to walk away. If they sense your desperation, they'll be less likely to negotiate. But if you're prepared to switch providers, they'll know you're serious. Listen up, guys, because this is crucial. If you're serious about building wealth, you need a roadmap. You can't just wander aimlessly through the financial world hoping for the best. You need clear, defined financial goals. Think of it like this. Would you get in your car and start driving without knowing where you wanted to go? Probably not. So why would you do that with your money? Having specific goals gives you something to work towards, something to stay motivated for. Achieve your goals. So, there you have it, guys. My top 20 frugal living tips to help you build wealth and achieve financial freedom. Remember, it's not about depriving yourself, it's about being smart with your money and making choices that align with your long-term goals. Start implementing these tips today, even if it's just one at a time. Every little bit adds up, and over time you'll be amazed at the difference it makes. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel for more financial tips and tricks, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. And be sure to share this video with your friends and family who could benefit from these tips. Until next time, stay frugal, stay focused, and keep crushing those financial